We are gonna go from this to this. And it's so easy, you guys. And the techniques I'm about to show you work for everyone, every age, every skin color, every eye color, every face shape, every eye shape. I've got you. It's a classic makeup look that just works for every day. It's very flattering, flawless, and easy to do. So let's start first with our skin prep. For your skin prep, you have to make sure that your skin is well exfoliated and highly moisturized, no matter what skin type you have. If you have oily skin, do not skip the moisturizer. You still need it. You don't want your oily skin to produce more oil to overcompensate from it, and then it starts breaking down your makeup. So make sure you are moisturized. For exfoliation, I really love this one by Dermalogica. It's an enzyme exfoliator that's super easy on the skin, very lightweight, not too harsh, and you can use it 2 to 3 times a week. So I really recommend that you exfoliate at least 2 to 3 times a week just to make sure you get rid of any dead skin cells off your skin and it's nice and smooth. Now here's my other trick. It's a little controversial. Some of the estheticians are going to come after me, but I'm telling you it works. I've done this for years. Instead of dermablading, I actually use a razor to shave my entire face, and I do this at least twice a month. The reason I do this is because I want to get rid of any peach fuzz on my face. This is going to help the foundation lay a lot more smoothly. Even if you have the slightest of peach fuzz, what happens is your foundation sticks to it and it gives your face texture versus it being super flawless and really smooth. So I just clean my face really well before I moisturize it. Before I put anything on, I just take a clean new razor and I gently just razor my face. I do it very lightly because I don't want to cause any irritation on my skin, but I like using these better than those dermablading things, the single blade, because my butt is too clumsy, you guys. I have nicked my face so many times with those things. So I'm like, I do not play anymore. I use an actual razor because I need that flat surface to glide across my skin without me nicking myself because I'm clumsy. Next up, you're going to prime the skin. And I believe in priming the face no matter what skin type you have. If you have dry skin, you want to use a silicone-based primer like this. You guys know I love the Lancome La Base one. It glides super well. It gives me a great finish. But if you have oily skin, you're going to want to choose something that's mattifying. And if you don't have oily skin, look for something that is silicone-based. You'll know it's silicone-based if in the top 5 ingredients you see things like dimethicone, trimethicone, cyclopentasiloxane. I'll put these words on the screen because I know they're kind of long, but those are all silicones. And what silicones do is they create a barrier between your skin and the foundation, giving you a super flawless look to the skin. So I'm going to take my La Base Pro and the Anisa Pinnacle Skin Brush. This is amazing for applying moisturizers, primers, any sort of skin prep. I like using this because it blends it really smoothly across the skin. So I put 1 drop down and I start with one side of my face, get under the eyes, touch the nose, the chin. I'm going to do the eyelids as well, you guys, because this is going to, if you have any texture on your eyelids, it's going to help create a barrier. So any shadow that you put on top will look less textured. So our sponsor for today's video is Anisa Beauty. It's no surprise to you guys. I talk about them all the time because they are my favorite makeup brushes. And I've purchased these with my own money many times. I've used them for years before I ever took a sponsorship with Anisa Beauty, but I love supporting this brand. It's a woman-owned independent brand, but right now they're having a sale called Made Better Sale, and everything on their site is 25% off. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, get some high quality, amazing professional brushes that are cruelty-free, you can use the code MADEBETTER to get 25% off. But if you'd like to get an even better discount, because Anisa and I, we go back a long way, you guys. They know how much I love them. They've offered a discount for my viewers of getting 30% off if you use the code Marlena30. 30% off is a great deal, you guys. That's the biggest sale I've ever seen them have. So definitely take advantage of that if you guys want. But my favorite brush is the Pinnacle foundation brush. This is what I use every single time I apply my foundation. It gives me such a beautiful finish to the skin. And then they also have this skincare brush that's the partner to the Pinnacle foundation, and it has that triangle shape as well. And this is what I use to apply my moisturizer, primer, any sort of skincare product because it's meant to work with skincare. So I will put a link below if you guys want to try that out. If you want to get 30% off, the code's Marlena30. And thank you so much, Anisa, for sponsoring today's video. Now for the base makeup, we're just going to buff in our foundation. I like using the NARS Sheer Glow. You guys know it's my favorite foundation because I have dry skin. If you have dry skin, pick a satin or dewy formula. If you have oily skin, pick a matte formula. Now the tools that you're going to use depend on the viscosity of the foundation. So viscosity is how thin or thick a formula is, basically. The NARS Sheer Glow is a thin foundation, and I can tell that because when I put a drop on my hand, you see how it's moving down. Whereas something like this, the Milani Conceal and Perfect, this is a matte foundation. Matte foundations generally, not all the time, tend to be a little bit thicker of a formula. Let me show you. When I put put a drop here on my hand, it just sticks. It doesn't drip down. So that's a thicker formula. Thin viscosities using buffing brush like this. Thicker viscosity, use a beauty blender or some sort of sponge to apply it. It just helps the application go smoothly. If you need a video on that, I've done videos in the past. I'll link it below. I'm going to use the Anisa Pinnacle foundation brush. It is my favorite foundation brush. I've been using it for years. I've bought several of them over the last several years. So I'm going to take my foundation, put a pump on the skin, just like with our primer, one pump, start on one side of the face. And I like using this brush because it's super fast and I literally can buff it in, and I can usually do my foundation in less than a minute just by buffing this in super fast, but it still gives me that flawless look to the skin. Do you see how much it evened out my skin just with that one drop? The next step is to conceal the skin, and I like to just focus on any areas where I might have extra redness. For me, that's in the center of my face, so right here next to my nose itself, and then I have dark circles, so I need some extra coverage under my eyes. Most people do, so this technique is flattering for a lot of people. I'm going to show you how to do it on this side of the face, and then for oily skin, I've got a different technique for you. So we're just going to put it right here like that. I'm going to put a little bit on my chin because I need some coverage there, and I'm also going to put some on the center of my face. This is going to highlight the face. I like to choose a concealer that is one shade lighter than the foundation I use, just so it brightens up the face. Whenever you have the center of your face a little bit lighter, it's going to give you kind of this halo effect and just really bring out your features. So I'm going to use the Anisa angled concealer brush to blend this in. I like this brush because it glides really well. Gets right there under the eyes. I love the angled shape of it. It just works beautifully. But do you guys see how this concealer is just a little bit lighter than that foundation? But I'm using this to brighten the face and add extra coverage where I need it. Now, if you have oily skin or even combination skin, what I like to do is mix my finishes. So I used a dewy foundation all over my face, but because I have combination skin right now, because we're going into summer, right here next to my nose, I get a little bit more oily, whereas the rest of my face is dry. So then I like to switch to a matte formula to lock in any oils that may peek through, but I don't want to do matte all over my face because I still want to have a dewy appearance. I just want to mattify the center of my face where I get oily. So here's my trick. I'm going to take my Marlena Conceal and Perfect foundation, put a drop down. It's really thick, so I've got to use a sponge. I'm going to pick up a little bit with that sponge, and I'm just going to tap this right here on the center of my face where I need that coverage. I'm going to put a little bit under my eyes because I need some extra coverage there too. Just tap it out. And it's doing three things all in one. It's covering my discoloration where I need it, giving me extra coverage. It's brightening the face, and it's helping to mattify the parts of my face that get a little bit more oily. Now, the last step of our base makeup is to set it with some powder. Now, this is my trick that works for everyone. You don't need powder all over your face, just in the center of your face where you tend to get oily. My favorite application method is using these sponges from Amazon. They're super cheap, and I love using them because they press powder into the skin. It doesn't disturb the foundation underneath. Sometimes when you use big brushes like this, put powder all over, it can pick up the foundation. It can apply too much powder, giving you that cakey appearance. So the key here is least amount of powder possible. You can use pressed powders or you can use loose ones. Pressed powders are going to give you more pigmentation. So if you have a lot of discoloration, you want extra coverage, grab a pressed powder or pressed foundation. Like this is the one by Fenty Beauty. I love it because it has great pigmentation, but it's not too cakey or thick. Pick it up with a sponge, and we're just going to tap it here, basically where you put that concealer. Now, if you have oily skin, like really, really oily skin, you can pick up a bit more powder and put it all over your face, but just a very, very light layer. But if you have dry or combination skin, I would just focus on the center of your face. Now for the cheeks, we're gonna keep it fairly easy, but before I do the cheeks, what I always like to do is apply a lip balm on my lips to prep it for when I do the lips later. So I'm gonna take the K lip balm. It's my favorite lip balm. Just put a light layer on and let it kind of sit and marinate on the lips while we do the rest of the face. My lips are so dry, you all. I don't know what is going on, but that does help. Okay, now let's do blush. I'm gonna skip bronzer. I'm gonna skip contour because I don't feel like everyone needs it, and we're gonna keep it simplified. But if you want to do that step, you obviously can. But to make this work for everyone, let's go for the blush. I'm gonna use a powder blush first and then put a cream on top. I think this works on every skin type, even oily skin. Hear me out. Because we're keeping it high on the cheekbone, we're not getting near the oil on the next to the nose, and plus putting that powder down first is gonna set that layer so your natural oils don't don't break through mixing with the cream blush, making it break down. So that's why I think this works on every skin type, dry or oily. I'm going to take the Benefit blush in Sunny. Something light like this works great for fair skin, a nice beautiful coral color. But for deep skin, you want to go with something a bit deeper and brighter, like a bright orange, a bright coral, even a nice kind of berry color in here would be gorgeous on deep skin. But I'm going to go on with a nice peach color. And I'm using the Anisa Angled Cream Blush, which I'll show you how to use it with cream blush here in a second, but I'm going to use it for powder too. So let's just put this down, and I'm going to keep it high. And no matter what face shape, I feel like this works for the most part, but especially for those of us who are getting a bit older, it just helps to lift the face, to keep the blush back here. If you put it on the center of your face down here, it can round out the face, which works great if you have a very thin face, but for most people, it's going to drag the face down. So I like to keep the blush a bit higher just to lift everything. We're doing a facelift, you guys, without having to go under the knife. I'm saving you some money and pain. Now I'm going to go over it with a cream. I'm using the Tower 28 blush. This is Rush Hour, and same brush, stipple it in. What it's going to do is add that extra layer of color. So it's going to last a lot longer throughout the day, but it's going to give me that luminosity to the skin. So it actually looks like skin and not dry powder. Just stipple it on right on top. And this is coming across kind of bright. I picked up too much product. So I'm going to show you a really easy fix for that. You're just going to go in with that foundation brush that you used earlier. No extra product. Just kind of stipple it on top. And it's going to blend it in and make it look more like just a nice flush glow. Okay, are we ready for the eyes? You guys, I'm telling you, this technique works on every single person, young, old, any skin color, any eye shape. I got you. Take a cream shadow stick or an eyeliner, but I like cream shadow sticks because they tend to be a little bit creamier. So I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown one in the color Panther. It's just a black color. Let me show you why I like it. You see that line there? I can blend it out and smudge it because we're going to use that to darken up the lash base. So all you need is that. We're going to draw it on the halfway point. Don't come in past the halfway point. Then it's going to start closing out the eyes. We're going to start halfway on the lash line, really, really close to it. I'm just going to draw a line like this, and I'm going to do just a little tiny baby wing right there. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to smudge it out. Do you see that shape? This works on all eye shapes, even hooded eyes, because we're staying close to the lash line. We're not coming up too far because all we're doing, you guys, is literally darkening that lash line. It makes the lashes look thicker. It enhances the eyes. It frames the eyes nicely. Now I'm going to take that small down brush and just soften it and blend it out a little bit. And I'm going to come out to the side, do a little baby wing, because again, even if you have hooded eyes, a baby wing is going to work because we're not going to go too far up. And just smudge it like that. Okay, now we're going to define the crease. So you need a small crease brush like this one. And I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario palette. This is the warm palette. He has a warm and a cool. So you're going to choose the palette matching your undertone. This is where it's the most flattering. So if you have cool undertones, try to pick a palette that has cool tones. It's going to align more with your undertone. It's going to look more natural, be easier to blend. If you have warm skin, choose some warm browns like this. I have neutral, so I can lean cool or warm, but I prefer warm. So that's why I'm choosing this one. You want to choose a shade that's 3 to 4 shades darker than your skin. So here's the palette. If you have deep skin, you're going to go somewhere in here in this bottom row. If you have fair skin, you're going to go the top row. And if you have medium skin, you're going to choose something in this medium row here. So I'm going to go in with this far left color over here. Do you see how it's 3 to 4 shades darker than my skin? That's what I want. We're using this simply to define the eyes. This works great for all eye shapes because anytime you start to add color just in the crease, you can even keep it on the outer corner of the eye. All we're doing is basically creating dimension to help that lid pop out. So if you have hooded eyes, applying this here in the crease is going to make the lids underneath the hooded part pop out more because you're putting this basically on the hooded part to kind of help it recede back, if that makes sense. All this is, you guys, is playing with light and dark. So I'm gonna put this here in the crease. Added some dimension in here. It doesn't look so flat and dull. It just kind of carved out the eyes, making my lids pop a bit more. If you have cool tone skin, do the exact same technique, but pick the cool tone colors. Next up, we're gonna brighten up the eyes by applying a little bit of shimmer here in the inner tear duct. What that's going to do is brighten the eyes, liven them up, make it look like you slept a full night's sleep, even though you slept like crap the whole night, but we're going to fake it till we make it. Okay, if you have deep skin, you're going to go in with a shimmery gold color. If you have fair skin, choose something like a champagne color, a light peach, something like that. Just take a little tiny brush, doesn't matter the shape or anything, because we're just dabbing this right here in the inner tear duct. Let me show you what it does. Just pop that in here, and just that slightest bit of shimmer here automatically opens the eyes a little bit. It brightens it up, makes me look more awake. Now, this is where we can have fun with color. If you were afraid to wear color, I'm telling you, this technique works for every single person, every eye shape. Take your favorite color. I like doing purples. I feel like purple's a safe color to include in your neutrals. And you're gonna take a small brush like this and smudge it under the lower lash line. No matter what eye shape you have, hooded eyes, round eyes, almond eyes, doesn't matter. This is a great place to incorporate color. It's not gonna close off your eyes. It's super flattering. It's wearable because it's just a little peak of color. It's not too much. So I feel like you can pull this off for every day, but let me show you what it does. You see how that adds just a pop of color. Now, when I put the mascara on and all that, it'll tie it together, but look at that pop of purple. It's very subtle. It doesn't alter the eye shape at all. It can work on hooded eyes because it's here underneath. So it's my favorite place to put color. So try any color you want. Teal, green, orange, purple, doesn't matter. Just take a pop of color and drop it here under the lower lash line. So easy and so fast. All we have to do now is curl your lashes and apply 2 coats of a good mascara. And you guys know how to apply mascara by now. If you don't, I've got videos on YouTube for that too. Last up for the eyes, you guys, we're gonna apply a couple cluster lashes. You don't have to do this step if you feel like you don't need it. You want something very simple and natural, skip this step. But if you want lashes, this is so easy. All you need is a lash glue like this. This is the Falscara one. It's a bond. You're going to put it underneath the lashes so it looks super natural. It's so easy, you guys. Okay, grab these lashes. I got these on Amazon. I'll link to them below. You guys, these are the best cluster lashes I've ever worn in my life because they're super inexpensive. They're less than $10 and you get an entire box full of them. So inexpensive. And the best part, do you see the numbers here? It tells you the length of them. So you have long ones down here going up to short. So you can customize your lashes based on how long or short you want them. They're genius. Love these so much. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the Falscara, the bond side, and all you do is brush it in your lashes. I'm just going to focus on the outer half of the lashes. We don't want to put them all across the lash line because it can close off the eyes, especially if you have hooded eyes, smaller eyes. So doing it just on the outer half really works for all eye shapes. It elongates the eyes, it makes them look thicker without closing them off. So on top of that mascara, just brush in that glue, and we're only going to apply 2 or 3 clusters. That's it. Take your tweezers. I'm going to pull off some 14s. These guys right here, because they're long enough, but they're not super, super long for me. Hold it at the base just like that. You're going to put it underneath the lashes. Underneath, just like that. Flip the tweezers around, press it in. That's it. So easy, so fast. Now I'm going to go in with a 12, a little bit shorter because we want it to taper in, and put it right next to it right there. Underneath, turn the tweezers around, press it, bam. Lashes. Okay, remember that lip balm that we put on earlier? Now we can wipe it off because we're gonna line the lips. And I have 2 amazing options for you guys. I love the Makeup Forever Artist Pencils. They're just classic. They last all day. Great colors. If you have fair skin, try using Wherever Walnut. Let me show you the swatch of this one. It's just the perfect pinky nude color. But if you have deeper skin, try Versatile Chestnut. It's just the same tone, but just a little bit deeper. Wherever Walnut, Versatile Chestnut. Fair skin, deep skin. Line the lips, pretty basic. And then choose a lip gloss that you like. I love the Fenty ones. This is the color Champ Stamp. Has just kind of a golden tint to it. It has a slight sheen, so it's just very flattering. I love lip gloss on everyone. Young, old, thin lips, fuller lips, doesn't matter because it just makes the lips look juicy, plump, fuller. It looks like you had a lip filler, but without having to get stabbed with a needle. So I'm a huge advocate for lip glosses. I don't care what the trends are. If they come and go, I will always wear lip gloss because it's just so flattering. Okay, so this is the final makeup look. Isn't it so easy? Now, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to lock this down so it lasts all day. Dry skin, oily skin, this spray works amazing. So I'm using the One Size Beauty On Till Dawn setting spray. What this is going to do is lock it down. It's going to make it last longer. If you have oily skin, it's going to keep your oils from breaking down the makeup. If you have dry skin, it's going to keep your makeup from looking patchy or also breaking down throughout the day. So I really, really recommend this if you want your makeup to last more than 6 to 8 hours. So pull back your hair. Just missed it. Okay, I know I sprayed a lot, you guys, but it literally locks everything in. I'm telling you, when I use this spray, my makeup lasts for many, many hours. It doesn't break down. It looks exactly the same hours later as it did in the morning. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you try this makeup look. What do you think? Did it work for you? I really want to know if everyone is happy trying this technique. Thank you guys so much for being here on my channel. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week for another makeup video.